Hail, Internet! It's the Dork Lords, Paul, Matt. We are here to talk about The Leftovers, Season 3, Episode 7, the penultimate episode,
Yes.
with a very long title,
Yes.
The Most Powerful Man in the World, and His Identical Twin Brother. Okay, so, which is a very apt description of the episode.
Yeah, that kind of describes it.
Pretty much like right on the nose. It's not abstract.
No.
So, yeah, looking forward to, obviously, next week is the last episode ever of The Leftovers.
Yes.
And this sets the table for that. So, it is a Kevin episode, Kevin Jr.
Yes,
episode.
Kevin Jr., yes.
We open, very importantly, with a shot of Kevin Jr. and Nora in Days Gone By.
Yes.
In the
After
bathtub.
the end of Season 1.
Yes.
And probably before Season 2, I would say.
Definitely, because Lily is...
Very young.
They still have Lily.
Right.
I see what you mean before Season 2. I thought you meant before Season 3. Yeah, right. Gotcha. Yes, I'm with you. Right, so Lily is off. They have the little baby monitor. So they are talking about, specifically, Nora is expressing her desire to be cremated when she dies, which seems somewhat analogous to the situation she's in now, when she's like, I'm going to go get incinerated.
Yep.
Probably.
It does seem like that.
And then Kevin Jr. kind of makes it into a joke. Where he's like, I'd like to be stuffed.
Right.
And we learn maybe the reason why he got a beard.
Yes.
Because Nora says, well, I'll have you stuffed, but only on the condition that I can put a beard on the stuffed version of you. And then he's like, what? Are you saying I need a beard? And then we cut to modern day. But so that's probably why he got a beard. My thought.
Sure, yeah. Or because the makers of the show are like, grow a beard so we can distinguish you between your identical twin brother.
Yeah, which
maybe that's the reason.
They did. I did see something about that where the nature of the filming of it was that he being Kevin Jr., Justin, had to show up. There's the day where the two of them meet kind of at the end of the episode, and so he filmed half the day with the beard, then he shaved the beard off, and the second half of the day they filmed his non-beard side.
Yeah, so presumably
they must have filmed everything else before that.
Yeah, everything, even the next episode.
Yeah. So, anyway, interesting stuff. So, we are now in modern day, and Kevin Jr. has decided to just go ahead and speed things up. Since everyone is knocked out. Remember, we last left off with his ex-wife, not talking him out of it, as we thought Judas might.
Correct.
She just like, all right, well, have at it, but I'm not going to stay here for you probably killing yourself. And then she goes off and kills herself. So we think.
Perhaps.
So we think. I think I'm more of the death-o-meter, I think, is pretty high.
As they appear to be now to be saving Nora, it's like, but that suicide's okay.
Right. So, right. Oh, she died. Oh, wow. Oh, Nora. So while everybody is drugged out, Kevin decides to act. Hey, the storm's coming.
Yes.
So he finds a way to rig himself onto the boat. I'm like, how did you? Just the mechanics of tying yourself to a board and then dunking yourself.
He's a cop.
Figured it out.
And he's married to Nora.
So he's in the process of dying. Kevin Sr. wakes up, gets everybody, says, oh, God, we're missing everything.
Yeah,
your wife drugged us.
Yeah, tried to fool us to get him away from us.
And so races out and saves Kevin Jr. by, raising the seesaw. And there's that great moment. I love the thing of like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we could do it together. I don't know. And then it's like, okay, wait. So you have anything else you want to say to Evie? No? I know your kids' names. I'm supposed to talk to Christopher Sunday, get the song. Let's do it. So you get the whole time we are, and we got this from the last episode too. Kevin Jr. is very eager to go back.
Yes, he is.
He, and as he says to his ex, I never felt so alive.
Yes.
As when I'm in that other world. And I think that's what, when we see him choking himself with the bag
Right.
and stuff.
Right.
These are all, I think, attempts to. I think it's kind of like an addiction. I like living in this in this realm, where I am free from this world and I'm really alive, and he keeps wanting to go back.
I don't know. I think it might be just more a manifestation of what he experienced even before the first departure, which is his panic at being fully invested in a relationship and a family.
Well, that's definitely true. For this episode, that is the main theme of this episode.
Yeah, but I think that's just the undercurrent. So it's like, I had this experience that was, really involving, but, once he gets there, he wants to go back, to his family, but here he is again. So I think, he still has that feeling to escape. So I think, I'm foreshadowing in terms of what it reveals, but, I think that's what I think it's about.
Okay. Yeah, the escapism certainly is it, but that's also maybe part of that addiction, maybe, of going to this world, is the escapism of it.
Well, just he's not letting go of his still desire, it's still his fears.
And in fact, I even, if we look back to when he goes to Australia in the first place, mm-hmm. and then he calls back, and why am I forgetting the ex's name? What's her name?
No,
dead
woman,
scuba dead woman. All right, anyway, we'll just call her the awful. All right, write it in.
It's not Lori.
Yeah, it's Lori. Lori, we'll say Lori.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I think. Anyway, so Lori, they're talking on the phone, and Lori's like, "Why are you?" I don't know. So she said the word escape, but she might have even said the word escape. But she said, "Why are you running away?"
Yeah.
He's like, "I'm not running away.
I'm
like, look, the world's about to end, and you have to just." And I'm here to find Laura. Anyway, so more of running away.
Well, she's saying this event is about to happen. She doesn't think the world's going to
end. No, that's true. I'm just saying.
Right?
Yeah.
And, he's spent a considerable amount of effort saying, like, everybody's going crazy. This is an important day. So,
let me leave.
Right, exactly.
So he, Kevin Senior had to have a little moment and like, oh, okay, well then I guess we are doing this together. Boom, and he dunks him back. Kevin Jr. goes back into Dream World.
Yeah.
And he's naked, coming up on a shore.
Yes.
And he's the assassin version of himself that we saw from season 2 in his other Dream World.
Right. His first time.
He is attacked by a Russian guy who's saying you killed my family or something, and maybe a drone strike. I don't know, whatever. Because later that Evie talks about, oh, you killed all my family with a drone. I don't know.
Well, she's talking to the president.
True, but I thought maybe this guy thinks he's the president. Oh, but you're right. He probably thinks he's an assassin. All right, never mind. You're right.
His brother.
Yeah. You're right. An assassin would kill people. Okay, got it. I thought, well, maybe he thinks he's the president, but you're right. I was adding an extra layer that it didn't need to be there.
So confusing.
He just killed a guy. Okay, got it. So, and then dog killer guy Dean, is now like a
Southern
Black Ops.
Southern Black Ops guy.
He's like, and he kills the guy and rescues assassin Kevin Jr. and gives him his mission. So basically what we see in this dream world, and it's very much a product of Kevin Jr.'s consciousness, as opposed to, it's heaven.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask, if you actually think it's occurring. No. But here's the problem with that.
Okay.
He's never seen the character God except in this dream world.
Right, and he talks
unless there's something we haven't seen, or
where they met at some point.
Or like, oh, I didn't notice that they met at some earlier point. But I don't think he's met that God person.
I agree, and so right, and then the fact that he does live, ultimately, Kevin Jr. comes back to life.
Right,
means there's something more than just oh, he's dreaming.
Yeah,
while he's choking to death. Like it is. Yeah, it's that weird. It's kind of in some ways, a microcosm of the show.
Right.
Is the show just about people being weird, or is there like something metaphysical about it, or what is? So, but this is very much, I think, a product of his unconscious dream self.
Okay.
And in one of the things we see
I don't know. I think it's possible that it's some method of communication where people are helping him deal with something, and it's extra. It's like something supernatural, but we don't know whether or not. I think it's less likely that those are the people that he's at. Well, I don't know. Because okay. One of the confusing thing from the second season that when Michael's grandfather, right?
Oh, right, the grandfather who drink the poison.
Right. Kills Kevin. He sees him in the afterworld, and he's like, "Don't drink the water."
Right.
And then he drinks the water, and then he becomes like everybody else. Sort of, I bought into this. Not almost everybody else, because his Secretary of State, Patty,
Secretary of Defense,
is able to speak to him like, oh, and also, Patty's first husband says, "Don't drink the water." I never drank the water. I drink. I think he just drinks alcohol. For some reason that's safe. So he knows too that he's not in a real world. So that's the question about what's really going on. I mean, it could still be a dream, but and then it becomes, yeah. So I don't know.
Okay, all right.
Interesting. And then
I
it's
thought
like,
it was a dream.
is he really seeing? Yeah, I don't know.
It was also so ridiculous in some ways that it almost had to be a dream. I mean,
well, I don't think it's real, although where it raises a question, right? I mean, if in his fantasy world that if in his fantasy world he creates a world where apparently it's ruled by that group,
the Guilty Remnant.
the guilty remnant. And they're like, okay, all you people, now we're going to destroy you. Because you keep expecting something to happen.
Well, see, I took that as Kevin Jr., that's the way Kevin Jr. sees the Guilty Remnant. Are a bunch of kind of sinister jerks, but have power. And so in his little dream state, he puts this world in which the Guilty Remnant are ruling. But he even says the thing, I love that bit, and we're cutting ahead here a little bit, but when Kevin Jr. is now the president, is supposedly the assassin version of himself, right, and he's reading a speech. Yes. And in part of the speech he's reading, and he's the president, but he's also dressed all in white, and the Guilty Remnant are kind of have elected their leader. Right. And so he says something like, "Yeah, we used to believe you shouldn't talk or smoke, but that was stupid." Yeah. It's like, okay. So anyway, all right. So there is, I guess, some debate as to what the nature of this world he's in. Is it a world that exists outside of Kevin Jr.'s mind? Yeah. Or is it just all in his mind? Boy, that sounds familiar.
Yes, that's what I was going to
It's all in his mind.
That's actually where I was kind of going last week, actually.
Yes, check back with some of our other review
Did he
shows.
Really?
It's true, though. I guess I'm always the it's all in his mind guy. So it's all in his mind. Okay, anyway. Assassin gets his mission, which is to kill the president, because the president is about to launch a nuclear strike and try to destroy the world. And dog killer Dean guy tells him, don't look at any reflective surfaces, because that's how they'll get you. And he's breaking all the mirrors, and he's breaking his sunglasses, so he can't look at anything. But then when he's like, look, I'll kill the president, but I have these requests. I want to talk to these kids. I want to talk to Evie, and I want to talk to Christopher Sunday. Right. Like, if you want Christopher Sunday is the Prime Minister of Australia. You want to get that? You have to talk to this guy, and it's the voice of God.
Yes. Well, he doesn't claim to be God. Well, not the same way that he claimed to be when he was on Earth.
True. Although he does. He is called God at one point.
Well, no, he claims to be God.
Yeah, but I mean, in this episode,
he claims to be God. Yeah. And Kevin calls him God.
Yeah, and Liv Tyler is like, I'm in love with God.
Yes, right. Yeah. So that's when he says, "Hey, tell her I love her back."
Right. He's like, nope. So he has God in his ear, and God tells him to look in the reflective surface, and so he does, and that's when he shows up. Oh, I'm the president. He probably realizes I'm the president. I do like Justin Theroux's ability to.
Oh, you noticed too who his main guy, right? His main Secret Service guy was, right?
Remind me.
It's Kevin. It's the Australian Kevin.
It's the Australian Kevin.
The one who is not able to come back from the dead.
Can't.
his seesaw buddy.
So interestingly, there's that Kevin. There's Dean, the dog guy.
Yes.
There's Liv Tyler.
Yes.
There's Patty.
Yes.
There's some others too. I'm forgetting. Everybody's dead.
And the kids, of course. And
Evie. So it's basically only people that Kevin Jr. thinks are dead seem to be in this dream world.
Thinks.
Well, yeah, I feel like it's all in his head.
I thought if we were going to see, and she really did kill herself, that we would have seen her.
Exactly,
So,
Lori and Nora. When
now,
it's like, here's your vice president. He's like, she? And we're all waiting for who it's
feel
going
as
to
if
be.
you're betting if she killed herself, then we're not going to see her except in a flashback.
Correct. But see, so what my thought was,
And it's
the
possible
reason
that
we
we
didn't
won't
see
even
her, the reason we didn't see her, even if in my opinion she is dead,
Right.
is because he didn't know it. So if it's in his head, Kevin Jr. doesn't know she's dead, so she wouldn't be in this world of dead people.
Okay.
That was my thought.
I hear you.
I mean, he has no way of knowing she's dead. Same thing with Nora. Nora could be dead right now. Probably not. But because you see her in the trailer for next episode, but
Right.
she has had time to go into the machine and kill herself if that happened. But because he doesn't know that,
Right.
she wouldn't be in this world. That's all. That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
That was my reasoning.
I hear you.
Okay. So,
I'm going to come back to that, though.
oh, all right, very good. Actually, while I'm thinking about it, because I'll forget it otherwise, I'll be like, what is that thing I'm thinking about? I have a quick theory on next week's, on the finale.
Oh, okay.
How about this?
Ooh.
Hot off the presses. Okay. We do see in the trailer for next week Nora standing in front of the machine.
Correct. Yep.
And she's like, my will and testament or whatever, I give authority to
Yes.
blah, blah, blah,
Yes.
blah, blah.
Yes.
So she's obviously moments away from doing this
Right.
thing. And I assume Kevin is going to attempt to rescue her.
And we know, at least, that she's supposed to be older.
But we also know that the machine requires you to be in some kind of isolation chamber for a long time.
We do?
Because remember, that's where they test her. She sits in the box. And they're like, using this
I feel
device
like-
requires you to sit in isolation for a while, so we have to see if you're going to freak out.
Right. I feel like they know that she's not going to freak out. You think, like, now let's see if you really are going to freak out.
I'm just saying, let's assume for a second that the machine does take time. You have to sit
Oh, okay.
in this
I see.
tube
The whole
or whatever
process
for a
of
while.
it,
Yeah.
you're in there.
Right.
Okay.
So I think, because it's also called the Book of Nora, I think is in that last name of the last
Yeah, that's
episode.
true.
I think she's going to go through a dream world.
Oh.
I think she's going to enter her own version
That's
of heaven.
Interesting. I don't agree, but okay.
And that would also explain why we see the shot of her as an old woman earlier, in that she becomes an old woman by herself in this dream world. It helps her realize that she too needs someone and doesn't want to just be all alone for the rest of her life. So she's like ignoring these messages from Kevin with the doves. In her dream life, she's like, I don't want to do with them anymore. And then at some point she comes to this realization, you know what, actually, I do want to be with Kevin. Just like Kevin had his dream that made him realize, you know what, I do want to be with Nora.
Okay, so you're
and then
saying...
they're going to come together
I
at the
get you
end.
now. You're saying that
awakens
what
from the
we've
dream.
seen before is a glimpse of her dream state.
Exactly.
Ooh, I don't like that. I hope that's not true.
Okay, that's my. If it happens, come back and give me all the virtual dollars that are coming my way because I just predicted the finale. But that's my thought. She's in a dream state.
And I'll be like, I'm gonna give him this virtual money because that sucked.
Now, do you have an idea for what you would like to see for the finale? While we're talking about it, do you have what would be a satisfying finale?
I mean, I'd like her and Kevin to still, her and Kevin to still be together.
Sure,
You
but
know,
that
like,
my version still has them
he doesn't
coming
know
together.
Kevin, and right,
the end.
but
Yeah.
I want her to be old too. I don't because I don't them a happy life, and he's old and she's old.
So you want to flash forward where they're
That's
like
really yes.
a couple that gets together.
What I want, yeah, and we can
Or
see
are
what
together.
else, how everybody else is doing with Laura too.
Okay.
Lori, I mean.
Okay.
So.
Oh, and so you're still banking on Lori being
that's what I
alive.
want. I want her to be alive. I don't
Okay.
like that idea. I mean, I can live with it if she killed herself, but really, I don't like it.
Okay.
I don't think it's it's like, oh, it's okay. You lost this. It's like they established a difference between oh, okay, somebody has died and I've gone to the funeral, or in a way that we've seen of all throughout history, and this way, which is like, wow, how do you resolve that? And some people can't, and that's why we're in this show, because everybody's having difficulty. And it's like, well, no, she can just go ahead and kill herself. I don't like that. I don't like
so
that.
You want it to be kind of like the end of the Dark Knight trilogy, where Batman sacrificed himself, kills himself off, supposedly to save Gotham, and then we see him later sitting. You want the last shot of her sitting at a cafe.
So she's not actually, it's like everybody thinks she's dead. I don't think that. I don't want that. I think she goes swimming, and it's sort of like, okay, it's to purge, and now I'm purging all this stuff. Let me devote my, I've reestablished a connection with her daughter, because we haven't seen that at all. When we see her daughter, the first...
And calls her. Her daughter calls her right before she jumps into the water.
Right. So when we saw the first of the season, when she's like, her daughter was saying, I don't want to talk to Mom because she's going to start apologizing to me. So they hadn't reestablished their connection. And so from the first of the season, maybe that helped you see. The first of the season to this, it's like, okay, she was separated from her family, and after having the thing that she hadn't discussed with anyone until last episode of losing the unborn child, now she can reconnect with her family. That's what I think is good. No, sorry, I'm just going to die because I can't accept that I lost this child.
Right.
I would hate
she
that.
Gave up. All right. Okay.
I shouldn't hate, because...
I hear what you're saying.
It does seem likely, except... That I don't think that's sufficient to buy.
It is
I don't think it's sufficient.
It's a reasonable outcome. You could see it happening, but
right.
You'd rather it not happen in that character.
Right.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
Or any character.
Pick a character like you want to die.
Well, I don't know. Just like maybe somebody's like, I don't know. Oh, the Man in Black finally can die. Whatever. I don't know.
I hear you.
Okay. So there we go. That's for the next episode. That's our thoughts. But so jumping back real quick, back into Kevin Jr.'s dream. He's giving his speech as the guilty remnant cult leader / U.S. president. I mean, in some ways, it seems like he's a figurehead.
Right.
As Evie calls him, the puppet.
Yes.
But
he was a puppet.
So he's given his speech, and his speech is, he realizes he's saying that the guilty remnant have outlawed marriage.
Yes.
Again, this is all... around the theme, as you've mentioned it, of running away from this relationship, like this commitment, the commitment to Nora.
Right.
He's afraid of it, and so in his dream, he's this guy who's a banned marriage. It's bad. And then he sees like, oh, and we have a speech from one of our award winners, and it's one of the kids. That Grace, one of Grace's children, and she wanted to know what happened to their shoes. Mm-hmm. That's really important to her.
Yes.
And so here's the little kid. He's barefoot. And so he's about to give his speech on why marriage sucks, whatever. And
why he doesn't need a mommy and a daddy.
Why doesn't he need a mommy and a daddy? Exactly. More to the point. And Kevin's like, oh, why don't you have any shoes? Someone in your family wants to know. And he's like, well, I thought we don't need a family. Yeah. And then everyone's like, yeah, good point. And so he's like, oh, jerk. So he doesn't get the answer that he wanted. No. And then Evie shows up as a protester. I think she's singing All You Need Is Love.
Yeah.
And he's like, I want to talk to that girl. His security gets Evie and puts her in a car. And they're on their way to go and basically launch these missiles.
Right.
But he's like, get out, everybody out. I just want to talk to Evie by myself. Right. He's like, oh, finally, I can at least get one of these things off my checklist. Yep. And he's like, I just wanted to tell you, you're loved. Your dad says it. And she's like, what the hell are you talking about? You killed my whole family. Yep. He's like, what? No, you're wrong. And before he can really solve that problem, he starts spitting out water. And he's being brought back to life, and so he gets brought back by the folks in the real world. Yeah,
well, the rain has become so terrible now that I guess.
I didn't exactly understand. Like, when they didn't leave him.
Like, well, I guess if you think about it, I guess he should be in there for a while until I guess he's had enough. I mean, like they're supposed to know when to bring him back.
They don't know when to bring him back.
He should be dead.
Yeah,
right. I mean,
right. It's true.
Situation,
you leave him in there for 4 minutes, and you're like, okay, he's dead now.
Right.
Who cares if we
put
pull
him
him
someplace?
up?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So he's not dead.
No.
And he's like, "What? You pulled me out."
Right.
But I was, and he has this great moment where John is reviving him. He's like, "I was just talking to Evie."
Yeah.
And of course, John is completely believes it. You see Michael's face. I don't think Michael's like, oh, "Okay, fine," but he's
Michael. It wasn't his thing.
Yeah, Michael's not a trooper. He's the doubting Thomas, as we learned from last week. I think.
Maybe, I don't know. I think he's willing to let people go through their journey.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's not like, don't do this, but I feel like he's still, because he even asks later.
Like,
he asks him,
why
are you doing it?
Right,
exactly.
Yeah, that's what he says.
And so that's a very to the point question.
He's like, I don't think that's why he's doing it. He's not going there to get a song.
Yeah, exactly. That's not why he's going. Well, why would he go? Good question. So he says, I talked to Evie. Now again. And Grace is there, and it's like, did you see the kids? Did you see all of them?
They didn't know what they did with the shoes.
He saw one kid.
No, he saw all of them.
Did he see them all? Okay,
yeah.
they were all
sitting there.
Okay. It's just the one kid talked, but they were all there. Okay, so he saw them all, but didn't know why they didn't have shoes. Right. And she's very unsatisfied with that answer. Her face is like...
Yeah, because, she had a lot of pin on there.
Yeah. So, but
you could argue, though, that he didn't... I mean, you didn't see them. I mean, your thing was a dream, and that he sees them, which means he's fooling himself,
right?
And I don't think that's what the message is. Especially if you say, okay, well, what's the significance of him jumping into a pond and have the water jump out?
You mean in the season 2,
right? I mean, if it sounds like to me you're arguing that he's having a dream that helps him figure it out, which means it's self-generated.
Yes.
And it's not a part of everything else. He just dies, and when he dies,
in the process of dying,
yeah. No, I think it's possible. Who knows? I think it may never be answered. But I think a better answer is that
it has one out.
He's having a communication with something more greater than himself, or something that is saving him for some other purpose.
Okay.
And it's saying, what are you doing? Why are you living your life this way? Or whatever, which is very nice. Nice if everybody had that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I will send you back as a better person.
Right, exactly. You keep coming back. Why don't you, do you have to blow this place up to get rid of you?
Yeah. So he is, he's at the launch center, secure site, the bunker.
Yes.
And he has the security protocols he has to go through.
Apparently a law was created when John Holmes was president.
Yeah, he has to, because plastic surgery is so convincing.
Yeah, it does. It just,
that you have to also put your penis.
Yeah, who would ever do that? We would never think of that.
For the scanner. Also, I did love the line earlier where they're like, you have unique biometrics that will allow you to get in the bunker, unless you have an identical twin, which is ridiculous.
Yes.
Hence, identical twin.
Yeah.
So they're making fun of themselves. And then he has 3 questions he has to answer. Your favorite pet? He didn't have a pet. It's interesting. Yep. Dog conspiracists can talk about that. And I forgot the second question.
Second question was your favorite movie, and he says The Godfather, and he goes, he's like, Godfather 2.
Okay, I guess. Okay. And then he is asked who the Secretary of Defense is, and I think the idea is he just comes up with a name,
right?
And whoever he says, manifests,
right? Whoever he says is that. But you could argue that,
And of course, he names somebody who's dead. I'm not saying, of course, but all the people that are in this world seem to be dead folks.
Yeah.
All right. So he gets access. Basically, learns that the guilty remnant are just have this big plot to, make this 7th anniversary count.
Yes.
If people are expecting it, let's blow everybody up.
Well, it's the Secretary of State's secret plan, because presumably, the ruse is that they're reacting to these separatists or whatever who've got a submarine.
Oh, sure. Which, by the way, there was the submarine with the guy shooting a nuke. Yeah.
French, not...
in the real world. The guy blew up a volcano in an island.
Yeah, it was confusing for me at first, but it's like, oh, yeah, that's not the French this time.
Yeah,
it's something else.
Again, if he just had that in his mind, if it's all in his mind... Okay. I feel like I'm doing a Legion thing. All
Yeah,
right,
but you
anyway,
don't
so
like
Legion...
it. See, that's what I like last week. I was saying, what if it's all on his mind? He didn't really have that experience of doing that, and you're like, no, it's not in his mind. I don't like it. No.
I finally called you over to my side, and then I totally pushed you back.
Yeah,
all right,
you did.
no, you're right. It's all in... Okay. I totally take it all back. Right. In his mind. Anyway, I love the fact that there's a giant artwork of him standing, holding the paper that he eventually is standing in front of, holding the paper.
Yeah.
It was just funny.
That was good.
So a lot of, again, very funny comedic beats in this whole thing, as there are in the show.
Yes.
So he then jumps, he looks in the glasses, jumps over to the assassin side of things.
Yeah.
Because, he learns about the Fisher Protocol from the vice president, Liv Tyler, who was like, yeah, actually, this is, madness, don't do this, it's a hoax. And the only way you could do it if you really wanted to was to use the Fisher Protocol, which is you put a key inside the heart of a volunteer, and you have to kill that person and pull the key out in order to use it. And of course, Volunteer is his identical twin brother, who is arriving at the bunker at that moment.
Right. He was supposed to kill the president, right?
Yeah, he's been sent to kill him, theoretically. So he arrives, and again, as I said before, Justin Theroux's ability to show this, he's enjoying, to a point, he enjoys these roles he's playing, and he the character, I say, not Justin Theroux, but I like seeing him process stuff, where those like, is that your house on the beach?
Right.
Yes, like he doesn't do the, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, he figures stuff out, like, I'm supposed to know this stuff. So, yes, I do know my Secretary of Defense. Well, that's Patty, so he figures that stuff out, which I like. But then there comes a point where he gets frustrated at times with the dream.
Yes.
Or his experience. And so, for instance, when Liv Tyler, when he shoots Liv Tyler. Basically. Because he's just like, she's like, I love God. And then, where's the comm?
Right.
There's no time. Where's the comm room? Well, it's down there, blah, 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 blah. He's just like, go away. That nice balance of being alive in this moment, being in the moments, but then also like, you know what, this isn't real. Fine. You're dead. Good. I like those, his ability to pull that off is really fun.
Yeah.
I like those moments. I'm not sure, up until they had the big final moment together. Is there anything in there
he talked to Sunday.
We talked to
Sunday
Sunday.
again
That
tells
is
him, and he's one of the people who knows that he's in this fake world, because he's able to say, I told your father that the dance doesn't make things rain. So,
Which
so he's like, well, tell me, I got to give him something. And he's like, why? Because
do you believe?
Do you believe it's going to make it stop raining? Like, no. So why are you here?
So
he was perhaps the last person, well, maybe not, the last person to ask him, why are you here? Why you keep doing this?
Yeah.
Maybe not. Yeah, maybe Patty was asking him again.
Yeah, but exactly. So
he's like, why would I put myself in this situation? Why would I volunteer to have this key in me? And for me, I'm gonna hear another discouragement here. In the movie Bedazzled, starring Peter Cook and Dudley Moore, he has a number of wishes in order to give up his soul. And so the challenge is, like, one of these wishes is supposed to be so great that he would give up his soul. And so the devil, though, is always tricking him. So the wishes end up sucking. So at some point, he's got 5 wishes, and he tells him this tale. The devil tells Dudley Moore this tale about this philosopher. What if somebody is stuck, descending, hanging from a cliff, and there's a tiger in front of him, and below him is a shark. What should he do? And Dudley Moore says, that's crazy. Who would get themselves in that situation? And the answer is, oh, yes, you've got nothing to learn from that. You're 5 wishes into losing your soul eternally, and you've wasted 5 wishes, and you've got 4 more. Yeah, what could you possibly have to learn? So why would he put himself into the situation where he's volunteering to have himself killed, otherwise, so he can have his bombs fall on him? It's like, why are you putting yourself in the situation where you got to die in order to experience life?
And what do you think the answer is?
Why Kevin keeps doing that? Because he's afraid of living.
Yeah.
He's afraid of having a real relationship, so he keeps running away from it. And he goes into this situation where he's scared, he's afraid of something even greater than that, which is death. He keeps running to it.
And he does.
Yes.
And so, so he kind of comes to that realization of, I really don't believe my dad can stop this thing. The whole point of me being here, the cover story for me being here, is lame, and I'm not buying it. Then they had the meeting of the minds. Oh, the Fisher Protocol. I don't know what the Fisher Protocol necessarily refers to, but the Fisher Kings. If you go with mythology, the Fisher Kings were the family that held the Holy Grail, and there is maybe a little bit of the quest for the Grail, the quest for truth. Maybe there's a fish. I don't know. That's my best guess for the Fisher Protocol. Right. Right down there what you think the Fisher Protocol means.
There you go.
The journal is opened, or the book. Here's your romance novel. This was hidden behind the bust of.
You were writing a
female.
book, and they were denying it. No, I didn't write it.
I didn't write it.
You're the one who was in the cabin writing that.
Nope.
Not me. I'm the president. Remember?
Neither one of them claims to have written this thing. And he, Patty's going to read it, but he broke her glasses.
Yeah, that was great.
It's also great because they have these beats like that one. The glasses beat, and then later on when Kevin Jr. and Sr. are sitting on the roof of the house.
Yes.
They're just slow beats. Like they take time. Patty picks up the glasses, starts trying to put the lens back in the frame. This is all taking time. You could just cut that out. They're like, no, we're going to dwell in this moment.
It's like, give me that.
Exactly. And he's just sitting there waiting, and there's this shot, and he's like, give me the. And so that's great. Just awesome. And so he's going to start to read the whole thing. And she's like, just skip to the last page.
Right.
And he does, and it's basically, he kind of chokes up on the moment where he says he's a coward. That line in particular, where he's like, basically, he's writing this novel with.
Great love story.
Which he basically is like, okay, this is me. I'm not writing this about random guy. It's like about himself, and that he has gotten this rickety old boat, and he's sailing off to the horizon to escape from Nora, basically, after having gone, come all this way to be with her at the last minute. He chickens out and flees, and he's alone. And that makes, it's a very sad moment, and they are both affected. Both of the Kevins are affected by it, and decide, you know what? Go ahead, kill me, take this key out, blow up this world, because that way we can't come back here. Like if we decimate this world, somehow that means we can't come back, and we're asserting our. All this time, we don't keep wanting to come back. In fact, when he's the president, when he's given this speech, and he says, I've only been to Australia a few times, but every time I come back, I always want to stay a little bit more.
Yeah.
Which again is that anyway. So this way he's cutting it clean if he can just do this. And so, sure enough, he kills himself.
Yes.
And pulls the key out. The key to his heart. I mean, there's a lot of that too, like love and
right.
Sure. And so, whatever. The heart is where the emotion
I'm
of
not
love.
saying no, it's just okay.
Yeah, all right. It's symbolic.
Yes.
That's kind of my point. The key wasn't in his brain or behind his eyes. It's like in his heart.
Sure, there you go.
The Tin Man. Anyway, so he pulls the key out and blows up activates the missiles, and Patty's like, let's go watch. And they hang out, and you see him standing on the roof of this building, and they see the missiles slowly arcing and then getting faster,
Yes.
and boom, and he blows up Dream World.
Yep.
And comes back to life, and they've taken him out of the water. Here's my first thought, because he wakes up in the
ship.
Is it the ship or is it the church they've been building? Well, whatever.
I think it's a boat because it's like really open.
Yeah. So that's also, though, under those boards is where they buried Kevin Garvey, the sheriff. So I thought for a second he had switched bodies with Kevin Garvey. I was like, what? But no, I think they just pulled him out of the water. And then you see John and Michael asleep.
Yes.
Which I think is maybe a biblical thing, but since I'm an atheist, then I'm not gonna. But I think there's a biblical reference there. I think the disciples fell asleep waiting for Jesus.
If you're watching us,
yeah.
Write it down there.
I think that's a thing. Yeah. John and Michael asleep. All right. Anyway, so and then we had the last moment, which is again very big moment, where Kevin Sr. is sitting on the roof. Mm. He was worried about the flood.
He thought he'd actually killed his son.
He thought he'd killed his son. His son wasn't coming back, and he had lost faith that the flood would be stopped.
Right.
And so he's just going to ride out as much as he could on the roof.
He lost faith because he didn't have the song to stop it.
Which harkens back to episode 1 of season 3. The Doomsday cultist people always getting on the roof, waiting for the end of the world, and then it not coming.
Okay.
And then they have to get back down, and then they get laughed at.
Yes.
And so he's up on the roof waiting for the end of the world. It doesn't happen. And he's like, I'm not ready to come down. No. And there's that thing of, like, he was wrong. Right, so he's just all of this time that he spent tracking down all the songs, memorizing all of that huge. He's had a huge journey.
Yes,
it was all for naught as far as he knows in this moment.
Right,
and so he just says like, "What now?"
Is that what he says? What now? What do I do now?
What do I do now?
What now?
And it's really so it's the day after. And, I mean, it's still the same day, but. I think it's the same day, but it's so it's the apocalypse has been averted or it didn't happen. What now? Mm. And so it's a big moment of revelation there for Kevin Sr. And Kevin Jr. does not respond.
Right.
I mean, he just because in his mind, I assume he's thinking, "I got to go get Nora."
I guess.
Right. It's either I got to go get Nora or it's too late.
Yeah, I guess he doesn't really know anything that have happened after that because. She was supposed to keep it silent.
Yeah.
So, I wonder how he's going to find out if she's dead.
Yeah. So...
I guess maybe she still has her phone, maybe. No, they destroyed her phone. Did they destroy her phone?
I don't know if they destroyed... Because the brothers...
I remember...
Matt is with her. So Matt...
Matt might have a phone.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's... obviously, the ultimate theme of Nora and Kevin finding a way to get back together despite both of their imperfect selves.
Yes.
Seems to be the key arc of the series at this point. It's kind of what the end of season 2 was, right?
Sure.
He comes back.
Yes.
And then, as Patty points out, you said you wanted to come home, and then you keep running away. Yeah. So you seem conflicted. So it gets similar to season 2. We might have this coming back moment again. I don't know. Anyway. But in some kind of more permanent way, perhaps. Or permanent sounds.
You think that she's going to have a little moment, and then...
I do.
Somehow...
I think she's going to have a revelatory thing of, you know what? I need Kevin in my life as well.
Do you think she's going to be in this little world?
Yeah. I think she's going to be in her own version of...
That'd be interesting.
Yeah. That's my thought. But, yeah, it could just be she decides not to go through with it, and Kevin doesn't get there, or they still break up, and then she's an older woman, and they haven't gotten together. Because in that flashback or flash forward, she's asked about Kevin. She's like, I don't know him.
Yeah.
So it seems like they're not together, unless he's in hiding with her or something.
Or he's not named Kevin anymore. Yeah. Actually, initially I thought
so you can have them meet as
that
old people.
Book of Kevin had spread. And the way that the first Kevin was killed, I was like, maybe the word spread. Don't confess to being Kevin.
Yeah, right.
But
It's gonna be
I
dangerous.
didn't realize it was really rather coincidental that they were able to find that one page that made them think about doing that. So maybe it's not some strange cult.
Yeah. So it could just be that, maybe they split up and then they get back together as old people. It could be a thing. Old Kev and old Nora kind of meet up and mend fences. But all right. Anyway, we will be here. Actually, it'll be interesting because Paul is going to be out of pocket.
Yeah.
But we're going to try to Skype it.
Yes.
Just because it's that important to talk about the series finale of this thing. So we'll be back next week, and we will discuss the finale of The Leftovers.
Yes.
Thanks, everybody. See you then.
Everybody is wondering what and where they all came from.